So remember we covered, that Dr. Dre and his wife, Nicole, is going through a divorce. And you remember the last video we made about them, she came up with this ridiculous amount of money that she wanted per month, things like $20,000 for cell phone and email. And, we were just breaking down what she wanted, $100,000, for things like clothes. And talking about per month, right? That she wanted from this man. Well, Dr. Dre had won a battle in court. So the divorce judge in that case rejected her request for the $1.5 million to pay the various expenses, including security. And the judge rejected her request to accelerate her claim that Dr. Dre should pay $5 million for her lawyer's fees and other costs. You see, her lawyers, were in court that morning telling the judge that she needs the $1.5 million for security because she's been receiving death threats. And saying the money would also go to other expenses. We said some of the people commenting on the divorce, have said things like, if she dies, she dies. Kind of like Ivan Drago from Rocky IV, if you ever seen that movie. And another one says, for a small fee, she could disappear. People were saying that about her, and that was just said in court, right? And say the judge rejected that in part because she got rid of her security team that Dre was paying for. He said she claimed Dre was too controlling and wanted to hire security on her own, okay? He said she claimed Dr. Dre threatened to fire her security if they didn't follow his orders. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, usually if you're paying for something, like you're the boss. So you got rid of him, fine, but you didn't have the money for him. So you had to kind of play by what he, at least that security that you had, right? So it said the judge rejected her request, and Dr. Dre's lawyer Wasser, told the judge Dr. Dre is still willing to pay all of her expenses pending the divorce, including security. It said the judge ordered that Nicole could select a private security company for her personal protection, but it can't cost no more than what Dr. Dre was paying originally. Okay, we don't know what that is. Now, her lawyers also asked the judge to move up the hearing on the attorney's fees. Specifically, they're asking Dre to pay $5 million in lawyer fees and cost for his ex-wife. It said the hearing, was set for January, but the lawyers wanted it held this month. The judge rejected that request. It say in rejecting Nicole's argument, the judge noted that there are serious domestic violence and custody cases he has to deal with. He said, and this is not in the same universe, according to the judge. He said the judge did say, however, if Dr. Dre exercised control over Nicole, she should file for a restraining order. So, yes, I know Dr. Dre is like, oh, man, I'm glad, because she wanted basically a $1.5 million allowance and just fudging numbers. What kind of lawyer is that, fudging that kind of numbers? When I saw $20,000 for cell phone and email, like I said before, I don't know how many phones. I mean, man, I have a good amount of phones and devices on my plan, and I don't even pay nowhere near that. Nowhere near. Okay, so you lying upon lying. But I'm glad Dr. Dre, at least won that portion of it. Now, these $5 million in legal fees. Listen, if a lawyer take your case and say, "Oh, don't worry about it, because I'm gonna get my legal fees out of this person," and say, "Well, how much it's gonna cost?" "Oh, it's gonna cost $5 million." Huh? What are you gonna do that's gonna cost $5 million? It is so crazy to come up with that kind of number. I mean, you sound like the British coming over to America, just trying to steal something. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about, the situation with Dr. Dre, and thank God that judge was halfway smart to reject that crap. I mean, because that woman, like I said, she just doing the most.